Hello, guys, welcome to another test. So, this was a driving test at Handsworth Test Center in Sheffield, and took place on the 28th of October 2021. Now, this driving test had 18 driving faults, altogether 18. So, there was 3 for moving off safety, 3 for progress, so appropriate speed, 2 for a. But yeah, so guys, please, this is what I've been saying most of the time. Please, your blind spots are really, really, really important. Very important. I mean, I mentioned this to a couple of learners that I did mock tests for in Sheffield, that I noticed that a lot of learners that I've done mock tests for in Sheffield do not check their blind spots as often as what my learners do in London, because that's what we, or at least as far as I'm concerned, I've always gone on so much about checking your blind spots. Now, my assumption is, could that be because you guys haven't got so much cyclists around that you ignore your blind spot a lot? But then, if that's the case, then you have to remember, what about drive roads? Because I know that in Sheffield, there are lots of houses around, especially within your test routes. And if you're pulling up on the left and right, you want to know if there is any vehicle pulling out from any of those driveways. So please, guys, remember your blind spot checks. Don't forget it. So, anyways, that's it. And let's continue now. As we can see there, they had a bay parking, so reverse bay parking at the test center before they pulled out onto the test. And then at this point, we're getting to that 40-mile junction or road just after the test center. So we'll go on and see where these things are. If I'm able to pick them up, I'll point them out. If not, then we can just enjoy and watch on and see the ones that we're able to pick up. So at this roundabout, the learner is taking the second exit. So remember, as you can see on the arrow on the floor, second exit is going to be the right lane because the left lane is only going left, first exit. So bear this in mind on your tests. Now also be careful with your lane changing. So the learner should have positioned more to the left just as soon as he passed the first exit, but he still kept to the right hand side of the roundabout as he approaches the second exit. Now that could create opportunities for people to be cutting you through on the left. So be careful. Now at this roundabout, the learner is going to the third exit. Now again, look at the point where the learner starts to come in to the left to exit. That was quite a very late time. There's enough space on the left there for another car to cut through on the left to exit at that same exit. Here is one of the situations where you give yourself extra work to do. So why use the right lane if you're going to come back to the left lane? One. Number two, why use the right lane if you're going to wait for the truck to move up first before you move up? So make those judgments ahead before you make the decisions. So before you stay in the right, think of the situations. Am I going to wait for the truck? Would I need to go through it or not? So make your decisions ahead, plan ahead, forward planning. So remember, guys. Don't forget, guys, always stop behind the line so that you've got more chance to make it through if an opportunity comes through. But going through that truck was nothing wrong with that because again, it was a very long truck, so there would be enough time for the learner to go through safely before that truck leaves the roundabout. However, if this is a shorter vehicle like a van or a smaller truck, or maybe a vehicle that would be moving faster than you, so remember, if that vehicle leaves the roundabout before you exit that exam roundabout, then you shouldn't be taking it. Now, this is what we always say: if you can't see, then don't go through it. But in the case of the truck, it's different. So again, it's a very long one. But remember, you've got to consider their speed. How fast are they going to move out of the roundabout? If they leave you at that roundabout, then they leave you naked. And that's where you probably will be getting a serious fault. So think of all these things. So if you're not good with calculating the situations, then please just wait for the next safe opportunity. But remember, the first thing you should always be thinking of is making sure that you can see through the roundabout to make sure it's safe for you. The the truck situation is an improvise, but it must be safe. So, from what I was told by the learners, so I believe this was the point where he missed his direction because he was doing an independence driving at this point, following the road signs. So that's why they've gone around taking the left at Audi and coming back onto this main road, back to the roundabout, to then continue the independence driving. So don't forget, this doesn't fail you as long as you don't do anything major or anything serious while you're trying to get your way around. Missing road is not a reason to fail, unless if you do it 50 or 100 times on your test. But you get what I mean. You shouldn't be missing every direction you're given. So yeah, plan yourself ahead and relax. So again, on this road, the learner wasn't making enough progress and was doing just about 26 miles an hour at some point on this 40 miles per hour road. And as you would see, there were cars overtaking and overtaking as we approached this roundabout. So bear this in mind. Keep your awareness high, if I'd say, or your alertness high. keep out for the or look out for the speed signs so that you know what the speed limit is. And if it's safe to actually progress, make progress. I remember saying these things to this learners before the test. You have to know when it's safe to move. There's literally nothing in front of you. The road is open, no vehicles around, no pedestrians or obstructions around you. Then build up that speed, make progress safely. But at the same time, remember, don't shoot up your speed. Build it up progressively, and you'll be fine. Now, right here again is a lack of forward planning. So, learner, I assume, has found himself in the wrong lane at the last minute here, and then changes lane to the right at last minute. Now, if that vehicle to the right didn't give way, he would have been in a bigger situation there. So again, guys, remember to plan ahead of you. And so yeah, again, right there is continued on the right lane instead of going into the left lane. Now gets to this roundabout. As you can see here, the white car that gave us way earlier on now cuts him off on the left lane. So again, oh, there you go. So he's just took that exit from the right lane. So you can see what I'm saying. Now we've had 3 different situations at roundabout here where the roundabout exit hasn't been done safely, in my opinion. Well, this wasn't safe. The other 2 were like a minor situations, which is positioning, which again we saw at the beginning. There were there were errors on positioning, or there were minors on positioning. So yeah. So, following what I was told by the learner, at this point, the examiner asks the learner to pull up on the left and gives him another chance to figure out how to demist the windscreen. Now, this is what I'm saying. This is what you should be doing while you're moving. But again, a lovely examiner has given a learner a chance to actually pull up to do something that should have been done while you're actually driving. Remember, the whole essence of these things is if you were to be driving on a very bad weather and you have to do these things, you wouldn't necessarily need to pull up to do it. So guys, please familiarize yourself with your car controls. I've put up videos of these things on the channel, but again, it's so sad and unfortunate that sometimes learners do not make use of these videos, and most of the times I actually have people who are not learning with me making more use of my videos than my own learners. But hey, it's life. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Now imagine learners would say to me, I wasn't used to the car and all of this. But the examiner, who's never been into this car, actually showed him how to turn the demister on. So guys, please, it's a new car is not an excuse. And I used to say these things. The diagrams on every car are the same. It is standard for a reason. That's so that if you move into one car from another car, you can still do these things. All you need to learn are the diagrams rather than learning where the buttons are. And this is what I tell my learners. Don't learn the buttons positions, learn the diagrams. Imagine how beautiful it would be if it was raining and you're driving a rental car. Maybe you're driving a zip car in London and you've never driven that car and it starts to rain. Are you going to wait to find a safe place to pull up before you put your windows up? Or if maybe something all of a sudden pulls on your windscreen and you can't see properly, how are you going to get to safety if you can't even see through the windscreen in the first place? And that's why you've got to be able to do these things, demonstrate them while you're driving. That's the whole point of it. No driver pulls up to use the vehicle. No. It's your nerves. So you just got to relax and figure these things out, guys. Please don't feel for this. So the test is now coming to an end, and I'll just give a little recap. Now, the things that happened on this test, a lot could have been avoided, and this test could have actually been a pass. Now, I say this because 18 minor faults, that kept the examiner busy, seriously. And 3 minors on moving off, and which eventually, I suppose, became a serious fault. Now, if the learner had just taken that extra effort to do the right thing, and this is the question that the learner kept asking me: well, how has he done it wrong? Like he thought he was doing his blind spot checks and all of that. And my answer to this is what I say to every learner. I say, please don't try to pretend, oh, I'm gonna do my check, let me just look at the mirrors because everyone says to look at. No, you're gonna miss it, because the whole point is, when you do something and you know what you're doing, you're going to do it right. If you're only pretending, you could be checking your mirrors at the time when the examiner actually cares nothing about that mirror checks, because he or she knows there are no dangers around you. So if you're checking your mirrors when I know there's nothing there, I'm not going to be giving you any mark for whether good or bad. I don't really care at that point. I'm more concerned about if you're doing your mirror checks when there are actually hazards around you. Are you aware? Which is why, again, at some point, he also had a fault for awareness and planning. So you want to, don't forget, I say you're not fooling anyone. It's only going to be yourself. And I still get that question. So know what you're doing, do the right thing. Don't be feeling for junctions. Don't be feeling for moving off. It's one of them, I just couldn't get over this test when we left, because I was like, how could you have failed for moving off? Observation 3 times. So it could have been 15 minors if that wasn't in the picture, if you see what I mean. And this is why I say it was just a necessary fail. You see, now I can't go on about the other ones, but the point is we could have passed if we can just save the simplest one, which was that blind spot check. So look around before you move off. 6-point check all around you. Sweep it from the left to the right. Don't do, oh, I know there's nothing there. That's not the point. If you get used to that, then you're going to eventually get into a busy area and you won't do the blind spot check because you're used to doing it without the blind spot check, and that's the problem with that. So please, guys, be with that. Now the next one is your controls. So your vehicles, please, guys, learn your vehicle controls. Now I go through it with my learners. I have the video on the channel, and this is, to be honest, one of the simplest cars you can do your test in terms of the controls. They're easy. Most things you're going to be doing, I mean, if you doubt it, look up and click on my show me tell me question videos for this car. So please, guys, learn the car that you drive, but the most important thing is learn the diagrams. I'm gonna make a video for that, so that maybe that could be helpful for you guys to know what these diagrams stands for. Because if you go into a Lamborghini, it's the same thing. You come into a Rolls Royce, it's the same thing. And then you come into a Vauxhall Corsa, it's gonna be the same thing. And then you go into a Tesla, there won't be anything on the board, on the dash, but if you look on the screen, they're also the same diagrams, even in a 2021 Tesla, or even in this car, all the electric cars, the diagrams are the same. So it's not changed, at least for as far as I know, from the past how many years they've been making cars. Those diagrams have remained the same. So if you're disturbing yourself and giving yourself long work to do, learning where the positions are, you struggle if you have to change cars at last minute. So instead of learning where the buttons are, please learn where the diagrams are, so that if you come into a car last minute for your test, you just look for those diagrams and you know, oh yeah, that's that one, oh that's this one. You see, some people don't even know what the diagram for fog light is. You see, so so please. So that would be the end anyway. So I hope this has been again useful, especially for those guys in Sheffield. So yeah, if you need to contact me, check in the about section on the channel, which will take you into my Facebook page, and then you can get the contact through there, just to prevent and avoid spam calls and all that. Sorry for that long process. But yeah, anything good takes effort. So remember that. So that's it, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. So please don't forget, click the like button, share the video if you know anyone who might be of benefit, or who this video might be of benefit to, and leave comments if you have any questions. And don't forget, most important, click the subscribe button, and I appreciate those who have done that already. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.